Hello, one and all. I hope you are doing well on this fine Sunday. At least it's Sunday when I am live, as in right now. But when you're seeing this, perhaps I won't be. I don't know. But I thought it would be fun to just chit chat with you because I don't know about you, but you know, this whole being cooped up sort of a thing, it's and I'm not someone who like leaves my house all the time. My husband is. He's like, wants to go out all over the place. That's not so much me. So there's that. So for me, it's not that weird, but I think it's more like just the thought of it that I can't just go somewhere if I wanted to go somewhere. If that makes sense. Last night, because I am still paranoid about toilet paper. I'm always paranoid about toilet paper. I don't know how you feel about that. But in my book, I feel like I'm getting low, even though I still have some. And so he couldn't find any last night, but he did go to another store and got some. I did go to the HEB site. HEB is a grocery store here in Texas. And so we can choose our groceries and then go pick them up. So I'm like, well, that's really cool. That way, you don't have to stand outside in a line and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if you are dealing with lines like that to get into a grocery store or not. Myself, the only time I've been going outside, hey AJ, how you doing, darling? The only time that I have been going outside, oh yeah, I don't blame you. Does a place deliver groceries for you, like what I'm talking about, HEB? The only time right now I'm really going outside or doing anything, and it's like the highlight of our day several times a day, and that's to walk Chalupa and Tamale. It's like do our little long walk. And what I am finding interesting is there's a coffee shop like a couple of blocks from us. And it's a cool coffee shop because they have that salsa doña, however the heck you say it, that I love. It's this green hot sauce. It's just the bomb. You can get it at Whole Foods if you're so inclined, if you like spicy stuff. And anyway, there's like these little clumps of people. I mean, our restaurants are closed, but you can get things to go. So I guess they're getting coffee and then kind of like three people standing not quite 6 feet away from each other, but in small little groups chit-chatting. And it's kind of interesting. Myself, I wouldn't want to, because there's some of them sitting on the outside furniture. Hey, Bean. I wouldn't want to be sitting outside on the furniture because I'm just thinking, I'd be touching something and then touching myself, and all of that just kind of totally icks me out right now. I mean, I'm already kind of freaky about touching stuff in public, if I really start thinking about it. But now it's like at a whole different level. If that makes sense. Hey, Joseph, how you doing, sweetheart? Thank you, everyone, for popping on here. I don't have a clear agenda, but I did think I would talk to you guys about some things because let's face it, don't we all need some entertainment these days? And what's weird is that typically I can just put on a movie and relax. I am finding it so hard to focus on a movie and pay attention to it. Now, my husband and I, like how I posted about Hitchcock movies, we have watched a couple of Hitchcock movies and I've been able, to get through that. And then tonight is The Walking Dead. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I don't know if you are, but I am. I'm very upset that the finale of this season, which is season 10, is not going to come out the day that we thought it was because of post-production stuff they have to do. And I'm like, oh, it's just, you're killing me. What is it? You're killing me strong. What is that saying? Oh, well, doesn't matter. Anyway, I can't focus on stuff. The only thing I can focus on is watching some YouTube videos here and there. That's about it. And then looking at, news stuff. And there's only so much of that I can take in at one time. I used to be a complete news hound. I haven't been in many, many years because I figure if there's anything important, someone on social media will let me know. And generally they do. I think that's how I found out about Hurricane Harvey. It's like, I just don't want to have all of that stuff coming at me all the time. So anyway, So I have jumped into some true crime. I put out my first video this week. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It was about Andrea Yates, which happened here in Houston. They actually had a home in Friendswood. My husband is from the Clear Lake area, and Clear Lake is to the south also. Friendswood is a southern suburb as well. Clear Lake is basically, that's like where NASA is in the Houston area. And anyway, Rusty, who was married to Andrea, used to take spin classes from my husband's first wife. Kind of freaky and creepy. Oh, wow. Okay, so you worked afternoon and mid. Oh, wow. So you did the swing shift, Joseph. Wow. My husband almost is like a swing shift type of person mentally, because he is just more productive at night. And, I used to like wake up for him or try to stay up later, but I gave up on that because that's just not me. I can't handle that. But anyway, like I said, his ex-wife had taught Rusty Yates spin class. And my husband, when everything went down with Andrea and what happened with her kids and everything, my husband was working at a restaurant in Kima. Kima is also to the south of, like the city proper, so to speak. It's off of 45. And in Kima, which now I guess Landry's owns everything there, there's a restaurant called the Aquarium. And when the Aquarium first opened up, oh my God. And I went there, I think, with my first husband and another couple once. And the wait was something outrageous. I am not a person to wait at a restaurant. Maybe you are. But if I go somewhere and there's a wait and I'm like, oh, screw it, there's plenty of other places that I can go. I am not sitting here for like an hour and a half. Well, at the Aquarium, the wait was something like 3 or 4 hours. I mean, it was absolutely outrageous, but we had all driven there and everything. So we're going to do it. And the cool thing is that in the dining room, there's, an enormous aquarium. It's like really cool. And now there's like, I guess because there's an aquarium downtown now as well. And my husband will take his youngest child there because his youngest child is like into aquariums and stuff. And, has fish and it has a hermit crab and all kinds of, creatures. But anyway, my husband was a server at the aquarium at the time all of this happened. And Rusty would come in, and I don't know who he was dating or anything, but he did bring in one or two, but I don't know how many different women, but he brought those in. And my husband was always just kind of like, like, why is he showing his face in the public? But my thought is that, he lives in the area. What do you expect the man to do? Just stay hidden away? I mean, he's going to live his life. Now, granted, if this were me, and it would never be me in this situation, but I would think, you know what? At least drive down to Galveston or something, even though Galveston is going to know about what's going on, but don't do something in the immediate area, because everybody literally, knows what's going on. It's like, basically they're all your neighbors. That would have made me, I just don't know how you just kind of like go along and just, go about life and taking people out on dates. Meanwhile, your wife's on trial for, I don't understand. But that's just me. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that it's in poor taste that, he went out and about like within that same area? Do you think he should have gone somewhere else? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? On anyone who has, I guess, I don't know, related to someone who, did some heinous crime or something, or maybe someone who was involved in something that everybody's kind of side-eyeing. Maybe it's been in the news. I don't know, but I would love to know what your thoughts are on that kind of stuff. I'm thinking of some other things. Sorry, thirsty. I have a very fancy cup. This is my husband's. He loves peanuts. And I have my special orange water in there. So exciting. Anyway, so I'm thinking of doing some other true crimes, and I'm calling that series Deep in the Crime of Texas. I just thought that was cute. But there's also things that have not happened in Texas, that interest me, that I want to look into. I think I want to look into some things that are like, fraud and con men, because all of that if you like circle it back to multi-level marketing, it does fit, because as far as I'm concerned, when you really start looking at the structure and uncovering everything about multi-level marketing, I mean, there's a long con going on. There is very much criminal type things going on, because you're getting people to join something, is not going to work out for them, but you get everybody else to believe everything is working, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking of doing that. There's also some other crimes. Oh, I know one that I was thinking of is, plus the other, I like that, being in the other 49 states and the world, because what was the one that I was thinking of? I don't know if you guys would be interested in this, but kind of like the rise and fall of Enron, because that was another big, huge thing that happened here in Houston. And I was here when all of that went down. And I mean, it was just mass mayhem. We have several friends that worked in Enron and that were there like on the last day, but people were walking out, just throwing things all over the place. It was just chaos. Talk about a bunch of decadence and just selling a big bunch of nothing, and people it was just craziness. So I was thinking of maybe getting my friend Sanjay, if he would, do like an interview type thing with me, that might be interesting to you. Sanjay's a really cool guy. He's also a musician. And that's how my husband met him, back when my husband was a server at Sambuca, which is located downtown. Still is open. Well, it's not open like right now in terms of like go there and eat, but before what's going on right now, it was open. People would go there and eat. It's gone downhill a lot since, I guess, when it first opened. It used to be a really huge hot spot here in Houston, but then everything moved to pretty much Main Street, and it would just be crazy down there. When I first moved downtown, because I lived on the same block where Sambuca was, I lived in the old Rice Hotel. That's where John F. Kennedy stayed the night before he was assassinated. And when I first moved in, so Joseph, thank you for letting me know that. That's what I was thinking, that you guys might want to hear it from like that whole local perspective. When I first moved into the Rice, I was on the 10th floor. And at like 2:00 in the morning, this would be on the weekend, I'd be sound asleep. And all of a sudden I'd hear like, wah, 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 wah. Walk on the sidewalks, not in the streets. Go back to your neighborhood. And it was all this thing about getting people that were like club going and getting them to like disperse. I have no idea if that still goes on, since I don't live there anymore. But I do know, oh my gosh, Main Street, downtown Houston, it just exploded with just all kinds of things down there. And myself, I'm not into like big crowds. I don't know about you, but I just start feeling very like claustrophobic around too many people. It just makes me uncomfortable. Maybe it's with age. I don't know. But I can't ever really remember like really liking crowds, just don't like that. Because I always think, oh my gosh, well, what if something happened? I don't want to be trampled. I don't know. Just crazy thoughts go through my head. But another one I was thinking of looking at in addition to Enron is also Anna Nicole, because, she was here in Houston and she had worked at the Gentlemen's Club. The Gentlemen's Club is over in the Galleria. I've driven by it many times, never been inside of it, but the Gentlemen's Club is probably, I guess, the, what am I looking for? The most high class kind of joint like that. I think, where ladies dance and that kind of stuff, scantily clad. I don't know if I would get in trouble for saying the word, so I'm just not. But I thought that might be interesting also. She had a horribly tragic life, horribly tragic. But I have always found that story to be very interesting. And then the whole, thing about her trying to get money after she had, hey there, how you doing, Grant? My stepson is here. So Aquarius is my stepson, Grant. So I thought that the Anna Nicole story might be a cool one also. What other? Oh, there's one that I'm looking into. I don't want to tell you too much about what it is, but it's as I'm researching it, it's interesting because it does have to do with um, taking someone's life. I'm just trying to use words that, YouTube isn't going to freak out, because my Andrea Yates one is not monetized. I mean, they wouldn't monetize that. They're like, oh, nope, not monetizing this. And it's like, okay, I'm not showing any of the crime things. I'm just recounting what happened and giving my insight, sort of a thing. That's about it. But other crimes here in Texas, I've even thought about maybe even like Bonnie and Clyde, because that story has always fascinated me. I don't know about you guys if that has. And I do want to look into, again, going back to the whole con artist type thing, to connect it back to multi-level marketing. I want to look and see if there were any like famous snake oil salespeople within Texas, or maybe, in the 1800s or something like that, just to kind of see what was going on. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. And the way I find these things, it's kind of like what I do when I do multi-level marketing, is like, I have an idea or something will just kind of like come into my bubble that interests me, because typically any of these things that I do a video on, it's got to like speak to me. And I've got to be like, okay, that sounds cool, or it disturbs me. There's something about it that grabs my attention. And and then I am going to do the video sometime about the murderer I know. I will do that one too. I don't know if you guys would want me to do a video on the time that I taught in a prison, the semester I taught in a prison, which was interesting. It's not a long story, but it's a story nonetheless. It's definitely that. What else? Oh, today, let me see if I can pull it up today. So I don't know if you watched my Amway video this past week about the hand sanitizer. And thankfully, somebody who follows me on Instagram let me know this, because you guys know that I usually do so much research into all of these things that I'm creating videos on. And I mean, this just slipped through, and it's really because mentally, I'm just not all here these days, I mean, I just am not able to grasp that much at one time. So anyway, now what's the name of whatever the hospital was or whatever that accepted the hand sanitizer from Amway, Richard DeVos is on the board. I mean, go figure. Can you believe that? And so today, because I have the words Kangen water. Kangen water are some of the Google alert words that I have. Being that I will sometime tell you guys about me teaching in prison. One semester, that was it. That's all I could do. Anywho, let's see. I found this story, and it was about, it looked like it was a story, but actually it wasn't a story. It was a sponsored ad, and it was for a news station. And I'm not sure where this news station is located, but it was Kangen water. And that rubbed me the wrong way, because I am going, oh my gosh, this is Enagic. And Enagic is a horrible multi-level marketing company. I have a playlist on that, which, by the way, my video that I made back in October about the ACE initiative, there was a privacy claim on it. So I took it down, but I'm reposting it, and I've just blurred out everything, and I keep on putting up on the screen, because of privacy. They're all public figures, but they just try to, anytime there's a critic, and it seems to be, especially, I haven't had this issue with any other Hunbot or any other company, but it's connected with Enagic. These people seem to be very, very freaked out if you criticize them, and they want to just erase all of that from being online. Anytime somebody criticizes them, they try to shut that down. So that just makes me want to dig at it even more, because it's like, okay, I have a baby channel. I don't have a huge presence, and you're coming at me. You're that concerned that some people have seen this. But the thing is that also I will see comments, and people will be like so thankful for my videos because it saved them from joining. So Could it get into their scam? Well, yeah, but maybe people actually need to be warned that their scam to get you to take a course is all about to get you to join a NAGIC, and then that's a $5,000 commitment. So there's that. So that video I will be re-uploading this week. Oh, you worked in a jail? Oh, I bet you that was kind of freaky, Joseph. I mean, just a semester being around it. I was around some hardened criminals, I was around some, think of the worst crimes there are. Those were my students, There I am, let's kind of bebopping around, and that's what I was dealing with. It was interesting. Let's see, what else was I going to talk to you about? Hey, Tara, how are you, darling? Okay, so that's what I was getting to. Is so the can't get water. Yeah, I told you guys that. So what I ended up doing is I contacted the TV station because I'm thinking, in our bubble, in the anti-MLM world, if you know about MLMs, we're going to be more aware of what is and is not a multi-level marketing opportunity, if you will. We're going to know about that. And there's a lot that we don't even necessarily know that it is until you start digging at it, and then all of a sudden you see how nasty and awful it is. Oh, you taught psych in prison for a quarter. Yes, it was very eye-opening. Mine was especially eye-opening. But when you're in this bubble, you realize how horrible these companies are in terms of the structure, how much they're hurting other people, how much people are chasing this dream that's impossible to obtain. And, if you don't get where you're going, well, the only reason is because you just didn't put in the time, which is complete BS, but that's what, they work on you. You just believe everything that you're told because it is indoctrination into a cult. It just, the multi-level marketing cult. I'll just, put it out there. That's the way that I see it. And so I sent off my email to, I think it was like the person in charge of the entire news station or whatever. And then they're not in. So, but I had someone else's name so that I sent something off to them to let them know that, and granted, I know if somebody is paying you to run an ad, you want to accept that money, right? Because you're a business too. But especially right now with what's going on in the world, because there's a lot of people running around, including what I showed on my Amway video, that there are people saying that there's Amway products that are going to protect you from what's happening, and they're not. That's a bunch of nonsense. And then yesterday I was interviewing Beth, Queen of Spade. That will be coming out this week, be coming out on Tuesday. Chris Hansen, apparently, I need to look him up. Apparently he's saying that he has something that's going to protect you as well. There's a lot of times that, when something is going on in the world, that's when these people that are so scammy and scummy and they're con artists and they're just looking to take advantage of people, they'll just come out like cockroaches. Just all of a sudden, they're everywhere. I am collecting also some emails because for that guy that I got scammed from the paid affiliate marketing, I'm on his email list. I just keep collecting that stuff. And let me tell you, I'm looking at those subject lines and I'm just going, man, you are something else, because apparently he had the CV. And I just don't buy that, because to me, it's just way too convenient, because now it's nothing but marketing towards you to open up your own online school through him. And I have seen what he's doing. He's an affiliate with a company that you can create your own online courses through. But the thing is that none of them know how to really create online courses. If he's going to teach you, and I can tell you from having looked at his stuff and taken his stuff, they're poorly designed because he doesn't have the background. Most people don't have that background. They just don't. And it's just, I'm just seeing the whole idea that now is the time for you to start your own online school. So basically, pay this money so I can make money from that so that you can get people to take your courses. Well, they're not going to be able to, because unless you have that presence, it's just like what I say with multi-level marketing. If you don't have that following and you're putting something out and just expecting random people from around the world to find it and to be all over it like white on rice, you're going to be sadly mistaken. It's just not going to happen. Oh, okay. See, I have not looked at him, Bean, so I think I need to look at him. Do you think it would be worthwhile for me to dig into what he's doing? Because, I really don't know anything about this person. It wasn't he on, what is it, The Bachelor or the Fiance thing or one of those reality shows or something. But anyway, I know he was on one of those things, and anybody that goes back to you have a following. So he now has this audience. He has these fans, these people who he can talk to and sell to, there's influence there. And if you're just a regular person trying to create that sort of influence, out of nothing, it's not easy to do that. I mean, it's just not. And so when I see people taking advantage of this situation, and let me see if I can find some of those emails, because they really they make me so angry, because I'm thinking, oh, I know there's so many people who have lost their jobs, or their jobs are on hold, my husband included, and all of that, to try to make people think that this is the way to do it when they're already on the struggle bus, and now you're going to take money from them, which could pay for their rent, which could pay for food, which could just, right now is a time where people are just trying to get by with basic things, and a time to start your school is not now. The time to start your own hashtag business because you're a hashtag boss babe through a multi-level marketing company. This ain't it. I mean, it never is, but especially right now, this is not the time, because, and people are just going to be taken advantage of. It's just sick. Let's see. Where does it start? Okay. So apparently he was going to have, okay. So this was on March 15th. Okay. So let's see how many days it is. And you guys might have to do the math, because math is not my thing. And I'm going to be running my mouth, and don't ask me to solve it, even a simple math problem, while I'm talking to you, because it's not going to happen. It's just not. Anyway, so on March 15th, he wrote, the subject line is my CV, CD, or whatever, that thing that's going around, quarantine and recovery, plus quitting vaping and working from home. Let me see, is there something from before then? He doesn't mention it, that. And then, okay, then he's rescheduling, because apparently he sold something to people to be course creators. And that goes back to the whole getting people to buy their own schools, from him, because he's an affiliate. And then let's see, there's a whole bunch of other things. Oh, the 15th. Okay, so now on the 24th, then he's talking about his recovery from that. And then 4 million jobs lost, and opening your own school, and his retirement. Is Chris Hansen on True Crime Daily? Is that what you're saying, Tara? And so I find that this guy who is doing this whole thing with get your own school and claiming, and maybe he did, maybe he had it. I have no way of knowing yes or no. I really don't. But I will say, from everything that I know about him, from having watched him and having been involved with his stuff, I just doubt it. Just something about it to me is this does not ring true. It just doesn't. And then there's another one of 4 million jobs lost, opening your own school, my retirement. I think I already said that. Then my biggest work from home mistakes revealed. And then, okay. Become a collaborator, reseller, open your own school, join our private community. And there's, all of this stuff is like right now trying to get people to do this. I just find distasteful. So distasteful. Crime Watch Daily. Okay. Is that a YouTube channel, Tara? Because I don't know. But if it is, it would be interesting to me. So I'm just watching this guy and seeing what he's doing. Like I said, I mean, I've got so many different emails this dude has sent out. It's just disgusting. And the thing that I also know is that it's on TV. Okay. What channel is it on, Tara? I know he will also reach people that will be in a very vulnerable state right now. And when you're in a very vulnerable state, that's the time when you may say yes to something that you wouldn't have said yes to before. I mean, raise his hand. I did. Escape. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that channel. I don't know if I have it or not, but I'll look. I will look. I have YouTube TV, so I don't know if it's on there. If anybody knows, let me know, but I have no clue. Oh, it's not cable. So do you get it just from like a regular TV? You're in Colorado. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if I have that or not, but it sounds interesting because I know there's a lot of like, different crime type channels. I mean, I'll watch ID and all kinds of, different things. It depends. Oh, I know another one that I'm going to do is the unicorn killer, because that person is connected with Earth Day. And I always have a big problem with the whole Earth Day thing because of this person. So I will be doing something on the unicorn killer. The unicorn killer, I found it. Does anybody ever watch Lifetime movies? I mean, I have been a Lifetime movie junkie. I haven't done it in years, but I would like, all they're based on whatever. I'd watch those things. So I was just so fascinated by them. And that's how I was introduced to the unicorn killer, is watching one of those. Okay, back to the whole movie things. And I'm going to see if my husband will come in here. Would you guys like to see or hear rather, and see, because you guys can see us. I guess there's someone, and I don't know who it is, and he'll be able to tell us, that have created, I guess, kind of little skits or little plot synopsis that is based on the Golden Girls, as if the Golden Girls were living through what we're dealing with right now. And the other night he read these to me. I think there was just 10 of them, and I don't know if he read all of them. And he usually talks to me when I take a bath. So I'm taking a bath and he's reading this stuff to me. And I swear, the first one that he said to me, I just about, fell out of the bathtub. I was just dying. I thought it was so funny because in my mind's eye, I could see Sophia, Dorothy, Rose, and Blanche. I mean, just clear as day in my head of this actually happening, and hear their voices and everything. So if you guys would like me to invite him in here so we can share that with you, I am happy to do that, because, I think we all need to laugh a bit more right now. And it's hard sometimes, isn't it? I mean, fortunately, my husband cracks me up, and he usually cracks me up because he's making fun of me with love, because I'll just say like things that I don't realize how weird they are. And then he will say it back to me. I'm like, oh. And so he's someone that on the daily will make me laugh. But it kind of goes back to that whole like watching movies. And there are some movies that I want to watch. There's some stuff that I want to watch. Like Ozark just came out with the third season on Netflix. And I cannot focus long enough to be able to make it through an episode. I don't know if I'm alone with that or not. But it's like, I try. But I just can't focus for very long on it. I guess that's why I start, digging into the true crime stuff, because I can, get into that. It just kind of makes me slip away. But I guess if I'm just having to sit down and just like watch something, my mind starts wandering around stuff and it doesn't go in really great places. So I just can't remain focused on things that normally I would just be like all over that, like, white on rice, like a duck on a June bug. Oh, so let me ask you guys this. Are you finding it difficult to find supplies, or are you fine? I mean, we're good with that. And We've got food. Did get a little bit more toilet paper. I told you guys that, so I feel better about that because I never want to run out of toilet paper. I really don't. And so I can kind of understand like everybody's like fear and running to the grocery store and buying up all the toilet paper because you just never know. And I think about that when I watch like The Walking Dead, because we're now like, I guess if we went down a timeline, like like at least 10 years, like 7, 8, 10 years into being into The Walking Dead. So, I bet you, Anna, that sewing supplies are selling out because people are doing craft work at home. What I heard around here is that people are doing more gardening, and I'm like really happy about that because I think like with crafting, with it sewing, with doing things on your own, because I really think that we've become disenfranchised. Meaning, we fill our lives up with so many different activities and to go and do all these things. We're not taking the time to do things that really, don't cost as much. And, if I could sew my own clothes, I would. I wish I would have learned from my mom, but I didn't. I'm not sure what that is in context with. I'm sorry, Anna. I'm not sure. I didn't follow along. Your fridge is kind of broken. I'm sorry, Bean. I'm sorry to hear your fridge is broken, but at least you are with at least you're with your parents, I mean, that's a good thing. You have them around. It's just me and my husband here, and then Chalupa and Tamale while I doodle. And our entertainment is literally, walking. But I do, like I said, people are doing gardening, and if people are sewing or doing other crafts, things that I think that people could probably spend more time doing, normally under typical. But really, is there going to be any typical circumstances anymore? I mean, I think there's going to be pre this of what's going on and post this. And I don't know what normal will be. I guess we'll all just kind of figure that out as we go. One of the things, obligatory to make this. Oh, wow. Are they still making the masks and everything, Anna? I'm kind of curious about that. Because where did I go when I saw people? Where were we? We went somewhere. Where was I? Gosh, I was somewhere with my husband and I noticed people. Oh, when we took the dogs to the vet last week because they needed to get their nails clipped and, shots and that sort of stuff. And I noticed people were coming into PetSmart and were wearing the masks and everything. I was just staying away from people. Now, we didn't drop the dogs off the way that, I would normally do. Like in the morning, we had to take them and like wait and be there, which was different. Definitely, Joseph, that is the wrong time for the fridge to be on the fritz. Oh, what else was I going to talk to you guys about? Because I'm just rambling, just rambling about stuff. I'm a rambler and I can't sing. Oh my goodness. Well, this was before my team had a whole discussion on what's going on in the world. But last week, I'm on a huge team of people, and then we're broken up into sub teams. And so our team was going to like be introduced and all of this. And somebody on my team was like, oh, we can sing a song. And I'm like, I'm just thinking to myself, are you flipping kidding me? It's like, I do not want to sing a song to anyone. And that ain't going to happen. Yes, there is. There's a huge shortage on the medical ones. There's a huge, huge shortage on that. Now, I don't know where everyone is. You guys know I'm in Houston, and we're on, I mean, I'm really expecting Louisiana, especially New Orleans, actually, to, because I think it was overnight that they doubled the amount of cases there. And you may or may not know this, but I'm going to tell you. Houston and New Orleans, they're kind of like sister cities. They have a very close relationship, with each other. So that's why, like, after Hurricane Rita, Katrina, I'm sorry, Rita's the one that was afterwards. Anyway, that's why like people came here and stuff. It's like we've always been like helping Hallies with each other, when there's disasters. But right now, and I can't imagine, I hope nobody is traveling, to New Orleans from Houston right now, because I think that would be like a really bad idea with everything that's going on there. And I know that a quarantine was not imposed on New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, but it's more like a travel advisory. And I can totally understand why you wouldn't want to be like, y'all are on lockdown, y'all are in quarantine, because I think that would freak people out a lot. And I think that it might spread more because I just go back to The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys watch that or not, but I'm thinking of like, people trying to leave places. And then when everybody's like out on the road or doing all of that, it's just like, it just escalates even more as people are trying to get to safety. Not saying that I have the answer, because I certainly don't, but I can understand why it's like not quarantine per se. It's just more like, guys, be smart, just be aware and don't be stupid and don't leave, sort of a thing. There's that. So not tomorrow, Tuesday, my video that I interviewed with the Queen of Spades. I don't know if you subscribe to her channel or not. Make sure you check it out. Our Chitter Chatter will be coming out on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I have my second true crime, which I've recorded it all. It's not actually a true crime. It's not a crime per se. It's just something very weird that I found, that there's crime involved in it. And just, it kind of goes back to when you start digging into a topic, all of a sudden you start finding like there's many twists and turns, and that rabbit hole just ends up like branching out into other places. And that's what happened to me when I was looking at this particular topic. But I tried to then, because I found all these different things, I tried to then kind of bring it back to where I was at the beginning. So it's not a singular crime. It's more of a crime against humanity, if you will. It's probably the one of the biggest taboos that we have as human beings, if not the biggest taboo. And so I kind of go into, and I just went these twists and turns about that. But I have my third one planned after that. And that one, you think about Jack the Ripper, but I have something before Jack the Ripper. So there's that. There are some hints. So I think I am going to get down on the go-go. It's about time to take out the Bubby Wumpkin children again. That's Tamale Wally Doodle and Chalupa Poopa. I hope you guys are safe wherever you are. And, just try to do simple things. Like that's why I break my day up with taking out the dogs on, a longer walk with my husband, because at least we're out and about, and, we'll see other people walking and riding their bikes and stuff. That gives us something to do, break up the time. Try to stay in a positive mindset. If there are people around you where you live and you need things, maybe you can have a centralized location where you leave notes or something, but see how you can be creative and, bring some light into other people's lives right now. So thanks everyone for being here. Have an amazing day and look for my next videos. And if there is some crime you want me to look into, especially if it's related to Texas, let me know, and I'll see you later.